Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So Nebula has gotten a moderate buff and we're going to be taking a look at her pre and post buff. Here's the thing though, this isn't going to be exactly damage comparison type video because the way you get damage out of Nebula is significantly different than you normal champions. A lot of blocking, typically a lot of parrying, and you can make it more or less whatever you want to be. Even with the 6-star rank 1 Nebula, you can get a Winter Soldier down in like 50 hits. You can probably get it down in 30 hits. Or you can get 300 hits. It all depends what exactly you do with her. But we still have obvious comparisons that we can very easily spot with pre and post buff Nebula. So the base idea using Nebula pre-buff was you charge up your EMP charges, 20 max, and then when you parry, all of them are converted into shock, inflict on opponent, and if you time your level 2, you basically double them up and refresh and do a ton of damage. And this is more or less the strategy. Depending whatever matchup you're going for, this is how you get the most amount of damage out of Nebula. Obviously, if you're going up against robot opponents, you don't necessarily want to be doing this because you always want to keep at least 5 charges on yourself. But still, you know, more or less the same idea there. Right, so I'm about to get to 20 charges. So I just need to land in a parry. You can see that here I'm wasting a bit of block charging. Parry. And I'm going to go in for a full combo. Let these 20 charges put in a bit of work. They're doing like 2,000 per tick. Now we have 19,000 per tick. Quite solid damage. And he's at 70%. And it's kind of rinse and repeat process. And it's not going to be high hit count by any means. 60 hits for 6-star rank 1. It's an incredible amount of damage. But obviously it takes quite a while. It took like 3 hours something. And other than that, she couldn't really do anything damage-wise, gameplay-wise. And I want to showcase this as well. And here, I'm going to be doing it a bit different. I'm going to be going for like level 1s, level 3s. Now, after level 3, I wanted to showcase that level 3 that does pretty much nothing here. And we're going to have like, 10 seconds there where he's going to start getting some shocks on himself every time we make contact. And, you know, it's nowhere near the same. We're already past 63 hits in the fight, and with the soldiers 75% up. So this is what I meant, that, you know, you can do a lot of damage per hit with Nebula if you play that annoying charge shock mechanic, get level 2s exclusively, or you do significantly less damage pretty much in every other scenario. Right. And similar thing is if you add in a synergy team. So here I am using War Machine pre-fight on Nebula that extends shock duration by 15-20%, gives her a bit of attack. I'm using some Falcon synergies to increase the attack even further. And that is helping quite a bit. We can see that there is going to be a difference in amount that shock delivers on that level 2. It's taking for like 23,000 opposed to 20,000 before. Therefore, by extension, it does more damage. And, you know, the fight, I think, is going to be less hits as well. Does go definitely quicker. Don't do it perfect, but 41 hits. So 6-star rank 1, Nebula could got it down with 40 hits before buff. So that's obviously quite impressive. Situational. And I have always somewhat liked Nebula. Now, this is after buff. First thing you notice, it's much easier to charge up. To a point where I don't even kind of feel bad about wasting my charges. Because if I want to play this way, which I don't have to, which I do just so I have a more accurate comparison, I can just parry opponents right now. I don't have to charge up like that necessarily. I could have just straightforward, easily parried the opponent and it wouldn't have been a problem. I think I'm going to have to start doing it afterwards, because we can see how much time I waste and how much unnecessary block damage I do. I could have just went and parried when I was at 10 charges, like I did now. Well, now this is going to be the damage burst after buff. We're going to see that now it's ticking for 19,000. So it's pretty much the same damage. It's pretty much the same damage per charge, except that the charges are much quicker to obtain. The question is what you're going to do with those charges and how you're going to benefit from it. And the answer to that should be fairly straightforward. You can be much more leisurely. You can parry the opponent in between fights, like in between, you know, your level 2s, and you'd have very little to regret. I get hit there a few times on purpose as well. But it's the same outcome. There's nothing kind of special to do. If we compare it like that, has Nebula's damage been improved with her level 2 method? It's pretty much no, a bit, tiny bit. But what we need to look at, in this case, it's going to be the Synergy team, but it would also be without the Synergy team, the same idea. Because here I'm going to have a few different fights. So here, first and foremost, I'm going to be inflicting shocks on Winter Soldier, but I have that synergy that she has with Guardian. Another thing that I wanted to mention, that she herself has become sturdier by about 15%. She takes about 15% less damage. But this is the key aspect. The Guardian synergy lets you pause the shock for like 0.2 seconds every time you gain an EMP charge. And you can get, you know, more damage out of every single shock. So with this, we can see that I haven't even thrown my level 2 yet. He's already down 11%. Because of the Guardian synergy, I can keep pausing it for a tiny bit every single time I gain a charge. So here and here is where the big difference is going to come. I'm going to drop a level 2. And now, thanks to that synergy, we can see that it's getting paused there now and then. And we got in like 5-6 extra ticks, I believe, which is absolutely awesome. It's just absolutely awesome. And he's at 42% here. Right, so I did eat a level 1 here, but that's not the point. I think I'm going to parry somewhere along the way here as well, if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't want to let me. He doesn't want to let me. It's all fine, though. Or I'm just going to go for the level 2 to finish this out. I think I'm just going to go for level 2 to finish this out. She also obviously have a bit different SIG ability now, where she gains extra power if opponent's under effect of shock, so it's easier to get level 2s. And here I'm gonna, again, slowly pause them up. And yeah, the dude just falls down. But there is perhaps even more meaningful change to Nebula, which is something that we're going to showcase here. So I'm going to be fully playing around the idea of pausing as many shocks as I can and just dropping in occasional heavy attack. So I want to build up to my level 3, and that's about it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to kind of reparry at the same time and build up some charges. I don't actually have to build up any charges. I could play this as straight combos, building up to level 3 without ever gaining a single charge. That is something that I just kind of chose to do just because I like this mechanic. But if you were conscious of your, you know, health bar, you could just play this as an average champion. Drop in a heavy attack so you have a shock on the opponent. So you have that benefit from the signature ability and just build up to level 3. We can see that that shock method has kind of put in quite a bit of work here, because he's at like 84%, which is, you know, kind of cool. So I'm going to get a few more shocks here. I probably should have gotten to 20 though. I think I should have gotten to 20 though. But here is going to be the cool thing. After level 3 now, we can see that I have a chance to gain an EMP charge every time a contact is made, and he gets shocked as well. So he's getting quite a lot of shocks after my level 3, and I am parrying, and he's at like 34 shocks, 30-something shocks, and his health is absolutely melting away. So this is like absolutely another way how to play Nebula. Just build up to your level 3, and after level 3 go ham on the opponent, and that's about it. You can see that his health is completely melting here. And that was after a single level 3. Now, all that extra boost, extra oomph has ended. So in order to finish the fight, I will just, you know, build up to my level 2, parry, and drop that level 2. That's about it. So I'm going to, you know, the standard level 2 thing is what I'm going to do it. And in the end, so here he goes, my 20 shocks, and then I'm going to drop a level 2, double it up, let him take the damage, and he's dead. But that is completely way to play. Completely different and new way to play Nebula. In between her new full proper shock immunity and her infinite ability now to gain charges should she be shocked, I like her a lot. She's tankier, about 15%, but that synergy with Guardian makes her even tankier thanks to Guardian, but also lets her expand her damage even more. And now there's more than one way to play her, and I love it. I like it a lot. Now, I don't think she's necessarily going to be the best champion in the game, but I can very well see enough value in her now. I already liked her before she got buffed. I just thought that the weaknesses and the limitations and the frustrations and the whole charging time was just a bit too much to deal with. But so far, what I see now, I do like significantly better, 100%. And this was not using her questing kit with Guillotine 2099 and Proxima. And if you put Nebula together with those two champions, then you get something even more interesting. So I am quite convinced that Nebula is going to rank 2, probably now. Right. I think that is about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about